Welcome to Quick Speak, the English podcast. Today we are taking a deep dive into a pretty fascinating cultural trend.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking at something many of you listening might have noticed popping up again. That's the big return of Y2K fashion in 2025.
Right. It really is hard to, walk down the street or even just scroll online without seeing styles that feel, very familiar
Hmm.
from the early 2000s. So our goal today in this deep dive is to explore why this style is popular again and what really defines it and maybe how this modern version is a bit different.
Yeah.
It's really about understanding this whole moment in fashion and this culture too.
Yeah, think of it as looking back to look forward in a way. This revival, it's definitely more than just, wearing old clothes again. It's like adopting a whole aesthetic, a whole attitude.
Okay, so let's get right into it then. The big question. Why? Why is Y2K fashion having such a huge moment right now in 2025? What's driving this comeback?
Well, what's interesting is that it's not just one single thing. It's really several uh, pretty powerful forces all working together. Probably one of the biggest drivers is nostalgia.
Nostalgia, like remembering the past fondly.
Exactly that.
Hmm.
For people who were, say, young adults or teenagers back in the early 2000s, that's mostly millennials now. Well, for them, this style might remind them of their youth. Maybe a time they remember as, I don't know, simpler,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe just more exciting.
Ah, okay. So it's a bit like reliving happy memories through what you wear.
Precisely, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not just them. It's also being really embraced by younger generations, like Gen Z and even Gen Alpha. They weren't around, or they're just kids back then.
Right.
So for them, it's something totally new and different. It feels playful, maybe even a little rebellious,
Mm-hmm.
especially against the very simple, minimalist styles we've seen lately.
That makes sense. It stands out.
It does. It's fresh. It's attention-grabbing for them.
Okay, so nostalgia is one thing. What else is pushing this trend forward?
Media. Media plays a huge part. Lots of movies and TV shows from that Y2K era, they're super easy to find now on streaming platforms.
Ah, right. You can just watch them anytime.
Exactly. So people watch them, they see the fashion, and it kind of re-enters the public mind. It becomes inspiring again.
And I imagine social media must be a massive factor too.
Oh, absolutely essential. You can't really talk about trends today without talking about social media. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, they're like massive engines for trends. People share outfits, they make videos showing how to style things, they do challenges like recreating specific looks.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And that just makes these trends spread incredibly fast, like wildfire sometimes.
It does seem like certain looks can just explode overnight.
They really can. And when you have influencers, celebrities adopting these styles,
Yeah.
maybe updated versions, millions of people see it instantly, and then they want to try it themselves. It becomes this powerful cycle. Inspiration, adoption, more inspiration.
Right, right. Highly visible, easy to copy, or at least adapt.
Hmm. And there's another connection which is actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's about our digital world today. Think about the original Y2K aesthetic. It came about right at the turn of the millennium,
Okay.
and it was very much about looking towards the future. There was this fascination with technology. The internet was becoming mainstream.
Ah, yeah. The whole Y2K bug thing, the dot-com boom.
Exactly. Futuristic materials like metallics, chrome, that was all part of it.
Okay, I see the connection. Everyone was thinking about the year 2000, the future.
Yes. And our world today is also really defined by rapid tech changes, isn't it? We've got AI, virtual reality, digital art, these huge online communities. So that early 2000s sort of optimism and fascination with tech and the future, it feels relevant again now.
Huh. That's a neat link.
Yeah, so the aesthetic, with all its futuristic bits, it kind of fits naturally into our current digital culture.
That's really interesting, connecting the past's idea of the future with our actual present. Okay, so we've got some key reasons why it's back. Let's talk about what it looks like. Can you describe the key pieces? What
Yeah.
defines this Y2K revival style when we see it?
Okay, yeah. So if you want to picture the style,
Yeah.
maybe start from the bottom up. Low-rise jeans are definitely back, a major one.
The really low ones, yeah.
The really low ones.
Uh,
The waistband sits much lower on the hips,
Hmm.
not like the high-rise styles we've seen for a while. You also see baggy fits, flares, jeans wider at the bottom, and different washes, like acid wash sometimes, and cargo pants, too. Very popular, those trousers with the extra pockets on the legs.
right, the utility look.
Yeah, it gives it a more casual, sometimes slightly streetwear or utilitarian feel.
What about skirts? Are they part of it?
Oh, definitely. Mini skirts are key. Very short skirts. You see them in denim, like jean skirts, but also pleated styles like schoolgirl skirts, but shorter, and even metallic fabrics.
Okay.
They kind of symbolize that youthful confidence, that playful vibe.
And what about tops to go with those low-rise bottoms and miniskirts? Seems like they'd be smaller.
They often are, yeah.
Yeah.
Baby tees and crop tops are absolutely everywhere. Baby tees are those small, tight-fitting t-shirts.
Mm.
Often they have retro graphics or slogans on them.
Right.
And crop tops are just, well, short tops. They show the midriff.
Yeah.
Usually worn quite tight, yeah. Often paired with the looser, low-rise bottoms for that contrast in shape.
I definitely remember seeing lots of matching sets back in the day, like tracksuits.
And they're back, yes. The velour tracksuit is probably the most iconic example. Those soft, plushy, usually brightly colored matching jackets and pants.
Yeah.
Juicy Couture was the famous brand, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're back. But today, you might see them styled a bit differently, maybe with chunky sneakers for more modern feel.
Okay. And fabrics. You mentioned metallics earlier.
Yes, metallics and holographic fabrics are super important. Anything shiny, shimmery, or futuristic looking. Chrome colors, materials that seem to change color when the light hits them. And these fabrics aren't just for going out anymore. They're moving into everyday clothes and accessories. It connects back to that optimistic, techie look of the original era.
So it's about being seen, standing out, looking kind of future forward. What about accessories? Are they crucial?
Oh, totally crucial. The accessories really complete the look. They nail that Y2K feel. We're seeing tech-inspired things like transparent bags you can see right through, made of clear plastic or PVC.
Yep.
Futuristic-looking sunglasses are big too. Wraparound styles, maybe colored lenses. And then loads of playful accessories, like butterfly clips for your hair.
Oh, yeah, those?
Bucket hats, the soft fabric hats with the wide brim, bandanas worn on the head or maybe tied somewhere else, and tiny bags, really small shoulder bags, often called baguette bags because they're sort of long and thin.
Wow, it sounds like a lot of detail goes into the accessories to get it right.
It really does. They add that very specific Y2K flavor.
Okay, so thinking about the whole look together,
Yeah.
what about the colors and patterns? What's typical?
The color palette is pretty distinct, often very bright, sometimes almost.
Yeah.
Artificial looking, in a fun way. Think bubblegum pink, that could be soft pastel pink, or like super bright neon pink.
Got it.
Electric greens, bright lemon yellow, digital blues. These are all really common. It's a very, very vibrant look overall.
And patterns. What kind of patterns fit this style?
The patterns tend towards maximalism, which means, more is more. It's not subtle. Logomania is big. That's clothing just covered in repeating brand logos.
Right. I remember that.
We also see patterns like flames or sort of glitch graphics, like a computer screen messing up. These reflect that digital, maybe slightly chaotic, but definitely bold energy of the time.
Okay, so bright, bold, lots of logos, specific shapes. But you mentioned earlier, this 2025 version isn't exactly the same as the original 2000s look. How is it different this time around?
Yeah, that's a really important point. Trends rarely come back as exact copies. And one really major difference today is the focus on sustainability and vintage clothing.
Okay, how does that fit with Y2K? That seems kind of new.
Yeah. It is relatively new in emphasis, yeah. The original Y2K era, that was when fast fashion really started booming. Quick, cheap clothes production. Today's revival, especially driven by younger consumers like Gen Z, really emphasizes more sustainable practices. There's a strong preference for finding actual vintage Y2K pieces, going to secondhand stores, hunting online.
Thrifting, right.
Exactly, thrifting, and upcycling too, taking old clothes and making them into something new and cool. That's really part of the aesthetic now. And even when people buy new clothes inspired by the trend, there's more awareness. They might look for things made with eco-friendly materials.
So getting the look, but thinking more about where the clothes come from.
Precisely. It shows how much environmental awareness has grown and become part of fashion culture. Another really significant difference is gender fluidity and inclusivity.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, the style today seems much less tied to traditional ideas of what men should wear versus what women should wear.
So people feel freer to mix things up.
Yes, exactly. You might see men wearing skirts, for example, or just everyone embracing baggy silhouettes, regardless of gender. Makeup, accessories. They're seen more as tools for anyone to express themselves. It feels much more about celebrating your individual style, being unapologetically you. That feels like a powerful message today, maybe stronger or different than in the earlier era's norms.
That sounds like a big shift. More about personal expression than fitting a specific gender box.
Definitely. And building on that tech theme we talked about, technology is even more integrated now, in a literal sense. We're starting to see wearable tech actually blend with the fashion.
Like smartwatches. Or something else?
Beyond smartwatches, yeah. Think clothing with built-in LED lights or smart fabrics that can change color or pattern, or maybe accessories designed to work with augmented reality filters on your phone.
Whoa. Fashion that actually interacts with you or the digital world.
Yeah, it takes that original futuristic fascination and pushes it to a whole new level using today's technology.
That's fascinating. What else is new?
Well, finally, the way social media works influences how the trend even looks. It creates lots of smaller, really specific versions of the Y2K style. Sometimes people call these micro-trends.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, like different flavors of Y2K.
Exactly. You might hear terms like cyber bimbo, which kind of blends futuristic or digital stuff with very feminine styles.
Oh.
Or indie sleaze, which has more of a messy, vintage, maybe party scene feel from the later 2000s, but linked to Y2K. Or even cyber coquette, mixing digital looks with softer, more romantic elements.
So it's not just one single Y2K look, but lots of little variations bubbling up.
Precisely. And designers and just regular people are mixing and matching Y2K elements with other current trends too, like maybe mixing Y2K stuff with the soft, delicate look of balletcore, or even the understated quiet luxury trend. It keeps it fresh, keeps it personal. It's a much more diverse interpretation this time around.
That makes a lot of sense. It allows for way more individual creativity, doesn't it? Okay, so for someone listening who maybe likes the sound of this style, but they're thinking head to toe Y2K, that's maybe too much for me. Are there easy ways to just incorporate elements of it into their existing wardrobe without going all out?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. The key is usually to start small and definitely mix and match. You don't have to do a complete style overall. One good way to start is with just one statement piece.
Like maybe just an accessory.
Yes, exactly. That's often the easiest entry point. It could be like a small, shiny metallic shoulder bag, or some colorful butterfly hair clips, or maybe a belt with a big, bold buckle. Just that one item can add a little bit of the Y2K flavor to what you already wear.
Okay, so pick one piece you like and just start there. Makes sense.
Right. Another good tip is to mix actual vintage Y2K pieces, maybe something you find thrifting with modern basics you already have. So you could pair those low-rise jeans, if you're brave enough, pair them with a simple modern style t-shirt you own. Or maybe wear them with a more classic, maybe oversized blazer, or flip it, wear a Y2K style baby tee with some classic, maybe high-waisted trousers you already like.
Mixing old and new, like blending eras.
Yes, exactly. And definitely don't be afraid to play with color and those fun accessories we mentioned. Adding a bright pink top or just throwing in some playful hair clips, that's a really easy way to get some of that Y2K energy without needing a whole new outfit.
Good point. What about using different materials? You mentioned textures earlier.
Yeah, layering different textures is a big part of the look too. Things like faux fur, shiny vinyl, sheer mesh fabrics, or even doing denim on denim, wearing a denim jacket with jeans. That's very Y2K.
Denim on denim. It's back again.
In this style, yes. Experimenting with mixing those textures adds visual interest, and it captures that maximalist spirit, that more is more feeling. And really, the final tip is just experiment. Have fun with it. Especially with that focus now on self-expression, try putting things together you wouldn't normally think of. Maybe something delicate like lace with something tougher like denim, or maybe pearls worn with a camouflage pattern. It's all about being creative and finding combinations that feel exciting and, well, right for you.
That really connects back to the core feeling you described at the start, doesn't it? That sense of fun and expression.
It really does. I think the enduring appeal of Y2K fashion, which this revival really highlights, is that it just feels fun, it feels optimistic, and it feels confident. It sort of encourages you to be creative, to play around with how you present yourself to the world.
It's definitely a very vibrant, noticeable look.
It is. And maybe, in a world that can feel quite heavy or serious sometimes, this style offers a kind of glittery, unapologetic escape. Whether people are revisiting their own youth or discovering it completely fresh, it shows that sometimes looking back, mixing things up, that can be a really energetic way to express yourself right now.
That was a fantastic deep dive into the Y2K fashion revival in 2025. Thank you so much for explaining all of that so clearly.
Oh, my pleasure. It was fun to talk about.
And for all of you listening, here's maybe a final thought to consider. Building on our discussion, what is this big return to a style that's so fun, so focused on the future, and really so expressive? What does that tell us about what people are maybe looking for from fashion or even culture right now? Is it that desire for optimism you mentioned? Or maybe a need for a creative outlet? Or perhaps something else entirely? It's definitely something interesting to think about. Now, if you want to explore the vocabulary we use today, or maybe find some exercises to help you practice your English based on this topic, you can visit our website. The link is right there in the description of this episode. And please do subscribe to Quick Speak for more deep dives into interesting topics, all designed to help you learn English. Thanks for listening.